Hey, my name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be transplanting these Mongolian giant sunflowers. Originally, I planted these in my garden bed, and not these exact ones, but this variety of sunflower. And for some reason, they did not germinate. It's not the seeds are great. I think it was my soil. I've been having problems with one of my garden beds in the areas with the soil. I should test it. So I just planted them in this pot, and I'm going to show you how I separate them, because I'm not going to plant them all together like that. These get huge, and I want them to have plenty of space to get really nice and tall. These sunflowers are known to get around 14 feet tall with humongous flower heads on them. So I have some chickens, and I'm really hoping to be able to give them some sunflower seeds from these when they're ready to harvest. Spot where I'm going to plant two of them. That is a zucchini plant right there, and these are Kajari melons, so I'm going to plant one there, right here. That's just a weed. Then I'm going to plant one here next to my watermelons and my Kajari melons. Prep my area, try to get these weeds out. I actually put cardboard under this garden bed, and the other one has landscaping fabric underneath to help with weeds. And so far, this bed, you can tell the cardboard bed has lots of weeds growing through, and specifically this grass. It's really hard to keep this grass out of your beds once you get it in there. But you have to really get it by the root, which I'm not doing right now, but you know, you got to really dig in there to get it out. It's really hard to get rid of. And the other one with the landscaping fabric or the weed control fabric has absolutely no grass growing in it, so that's really nice. So to start, I'm going to just dig a little hole. Where I want them. I'm going to pull these couple of weeds here. And you want to be gentle. Make sure they're nice and moist. So which these are. Whoop. That's okay. And then I'm just going to gently massage these apart. That's interesting. Look at that. I got a red stem. So I'm going to be careful not to disturb the roots. That is way too deep, so this is way too deep, so I'm going to push some of that back. And hopefully the sun is not too harsh for these. I did have these in part sun, part shade, so they should be hardened off enough. And I'm gonna put it like this. This is harder to do with one hand. There we go. That has a nice, beautiful root system on it. There we go. So we have that one there and that one there. I'm going to take these two over to where I'm going to plant them in my other garden bed. They're all sunflowers here, different varieties, smaller varieties. There's some Seminole pumpkins. I have a summer squash. I'm not sure what that is, if it's like a yellow squash or zucchini. We're gonna have to find out. I originally planted from here all the way down, full of corn and beans, as you can see. Like, I got one corn. That is a zinnia that I put there to try to fill in the empty spaces. But and there's a random corn here. I'm gonna have to try to hand pollinate it to make sure I get corn off of that one. But I have this big empty space here, so I'm going to plant one right in the middle and give it plenty of space to get big and tall. So once again, I'm just going to break this up real good. Make sure it has, oh, see how hard that is? Let me go get a tool to loosen that up a bit more. Little hand tool that I'm going to use to break up the soil a bit. I want to make sure that the roots can go deep down in there. I don't know why, it's just so packed. Like, it's just packed really tight. So that's probably why some of my seeds didn't sprout, because they probably had trouble growing down into them, or even coming up possibly. Okay, so I got this nice and ready. See how much better that is? It's nice and loose. Nice and loose compost. So I'm going to carefully take this and just massage the bottom root ball gently without, we don't want to tear those little roots. Here we go. Transplanting. You want to make sure your sprout has its true leaves on it before you plant it. Okay, whether it's squash, pumpkin, sunflowers, usually I've always directly sown sunflower seeds into the ground. Like all of these, I just popped the seed in there, covered it up, and it sprouted. But for some reason over here, they did not, or over there actually, where I originally, in this bed, I don't know why, but I had a hard time with sprouts. So these two leaves that first come up, without, not these two little ones, but the two big ones, those are your sprout leaves. Those are not true leaves. As your plant grows big and tall, these two leaves are going to die. These two leaves coming out right here are your true leaves. Those leaves are not going to die. They're not supposed to. They will get nice and big as the plant gets taller. You want to make sure your plant has those first two leaves. Even if they're little like that, you want to make sure that it has those before you move it out into the ground to give it a nice, strong, healthy start. Out here that I'm going to plant, and we're going to go this way with it. So I plan on growing sweet potatoes in this bed, but I do have some pumpkins going up this trellis, these little baby Jack-B little pumpkins. They're growing up this trellis, and over here I have my corn and my beans and some squash in there. And then I have this nice big empty spot, and those are just some beans, yard-long beans that are purple that are going to grow up this trellis. So I'm going to plant one probably right over here, really close to my corn. Not super close, but just like right here. That's maybe a foot away, so I can get nice and big. I'm not sure how big the stems of these sunflowers get, so I really want to make sure that it has enough room to grow its roots out. This doesn't seem as hard as the other side, so that's good. Okay, so I've got my little hole ready. Get my little baby sunflower, put it right in there gently. Just gonna straighten it up, cover up the roots really good. Okay, so now I've got all 4 of my sunflowers separated and planted where I'd like them in my garden. Hi babies, how you doing in there? It's getting dark out. Hey pretty girls. Okay guys, as you notice, it's getting pretty dark outside. This is the time where I water my plants. I make sure I water them in the evening time, because if you water them in the morning, the sun can burn the water onto the leaves and it will kill your plants. They will get burned and turn brown and yucky. You'll have to trim those off, and it can kill your plants if you continue to do it. And this is the best time to transplant your plants. Put them out into the ground in the garden. Make sure you harden them off meaning that you just take your little seedlings out into the sun, or I would say part shade, for a couple hours a day, to make sure that when you put them out where they're supposed to be, if it is full sun, they're not going to get sunburned, because that can also kill your plants. Sunburn looks like where the leaves will turn like a silvery white color. So I think it's best to plant them in the evening time, because you can water them in really well, and then they have all night long in the dark to really recover and just recover from being moved out of their pot and separated, messing with their leaves. It can make them kind of sad and droopy for a day or two. So that's when I find the best time is to transplant your plants. I just wanted to add, don't forget to water your plants into the ground after you've moved them out. They really need a good drink of water to have a successful recovery and not to go into shock. But I had a great time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to see more content. See you next time.